Welcome to the Recruitment Hackers Podcast, a show about innovations, technology, and leaders in the recruitment industry. Brought to you by TalkPush, the leading recruitment automation platform.
Hello, and welcome back to the Recruitment Hackers Podcast. I'm your host, Max Armbruster, and today I'm pleased to welcome on the show the winners of the 2021 Global BPO Awards for the Best Advertising Campaign in Recruitment. Reed Elsevier, two ladies joining us from the Philippines, AJ Silva, who is Head of Branding and Corporate Communication, and Lisay, who is an HR Supervisor for the Branding and Communications team as well. AJ, Kat, welcome to the show.
Hi, Max.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Yep. Very excited to, converse with you and have this podcast with you.
Thank you. It's good to have you. And we were chatting a little bit beforehand that the corporate communication and branding team sits under HR. So for your team, HR and recruitment, it's not a second thought. It's very front and center. It's what you do every day. So perhaps that doesn't surprise me so much, considering that Reed Elsevier's business is so dependent on attracting talent. But for those who don't know what Reed Elsevier does, perhaps we could start with an introduction on what the business does.
All right. Okay, for Reed Elsevier Philippines, we are the shared services arm of RELEX. So RELEX is an information solutions provider for different sophisticated businesses. We have for legal, science and medical, exhibitions, and risk solutions as well. So Reed Elsevier Philippines, what we do is that we support our RELEX business. We have 4 main market segments. That's for LexisNexis, Elsevier, Reed Exhibitions, and Risk Solutions Group. So as you can see, we have a very diverse and sophisticated market. And given that, for Reed Elsevier Philippines, the talent that we are looking for are, people who are dynamic, who are really focused on experts on these different fields. But at the same time, we also invest in their career development.
It's impossible to squeeze all of that in a 10-second soundbite. But there's, so it's a broad spectrum of products that are information related, research related, and then events. And so it's probably hard for job seekers and candidates to understand all of that, right? Just from an ad. So how do you, from the conceptual standpoint, when you're putting together this campaign, when you have a very complex business such as yours, how do you simplify it and connect with a wide audience so that, you can grab their attention, even in a place like social media where attention spans are fleeting?
Right. So with regard to crafting the advertisement campaign in our social media channels, we have to make sure that it is automatically understood by our target audience. So as AJ mentioned earlier, that Reed Elsevier Philippines offers a lot of career opportunities to different professionals such as marketing, accountancy, finance, technology, so to speak. So these wide array of opportunities, we have to make sure that Reed Elsevier Philippines steps up so that we can be known as the organizations that have these opportunities. And we are one of the organizations that they have to look forward to in terms of getting hired. So when it comes to promoting or crafting the recruitment advertisement, we want to make it as simple as possible. And then we also want it to remain detailed as well in terms of providing information about our job, about the job description itself, and as well as what are the opportunities and the business that they will be supporting to in the event that they get hired.
And to put the job listings, of course, you have to put the job listing at some point, but tell us about the concept of this campaign. Was it on social media mainly, or did you use other media?
Yeah. So regarding the different marketing channels that we use to broaden and amplify our recruitment ads. We have utilized various channels like social media. We have also used job portals such as Job Street Philippines. And then we have also advertised it in our website. And then we have also targeted different organizations that we think are our target markets here in the Philippines.
So targeted by profession. Like
Yes, that's right.
legal, IT, finance. Okay, and you can do that on social media.
Yes. What we actually notice is that there are different personas,
Yeah.
per demographics. That's like, let's say for legal or lawyers, we do hire legal editors, legal professionals for most of our businesses. And what we notice is that what really works for them, aside from social media, is that it, what do you call this, referral. So what we did also is that we amplified our brand through the employer referral program. There are a lot of lawyers, legal professionals who would refer their friends, etc. And how can we actually bank on that strength? We've used, the digital platforms to further our brand, and then our employees, since we're very big on employee referrals, our legal professionals, our employees, they are the ones sharing our content as well. So that helps in spreading the word and therefore inviting their network, their colleagues to join the organization. And although some of that may translate during the interview as an employee referral, but behind the scenes, actually, they knew about the company because their network shared this through, let's say, Facebook, or through LinkedIn. So that's another, domino effect of the social media campaigns that we are doing. Aside from legal, also, we do hire, let's say, marketing, sales professionals. Even for customers, we have seen great success for customer support roles and even for finance roles, for some of the entry-level roles that we have in, different social media. On the other hand, though, for LinkedIn, we still tag it as, a very strong digital platform. And we have a lot of niche hires from that platform, specifically for sales, marketing, technology, and even for a lot of leadership positions. So how can we actually make use of these platforms? It's a good thing that we are part of HR. We have that visibility in terms of, the different profiles of the people that our colleagues within HR are looking for. So that's how we curate the messaging. But we always go back to the core. We always go back to our value proposition, that what we provide to our employees. And at the end of the day, we want to let them know, what's in it for me if I join the organization? What are the different opportunities that I can explore?
I want to ask you more about the employer value proposition, but first you said something that I thought was very insightful, was the fact that the employer referral program, it needs to be supported with a certain amount of branding to make sure that the people who get contacted already have an idea of who you are and what Reed Elsevier does. And you said that you do that by encouraging the employees to share content. Yeah, could you expand on that? How does that work?
Well, we have two different strategies in our employee referral program. So definitely we send our employee referral program ads through corporate communications, and then as well as we post it on our social media channels. So what our employees do is that they thrive on organic engagements. So they tend to share our employment ads, they tag their friends, and they invite everyone, almost every one of their connections to apply here in Reed Elsevier Philippines. And then as well as we have to make sure that we post our culture and what's in it for them in our social media channels, so that when they get to invite their friends, they would prove that Reed Elsevier Philippines can be their employer of choice due to these various reasons, such as the benefits that we offer and the culture as well that Reed Elsevier Philippines has.
And to add to that, Max, maybe I'll share something a bit more personal for the both of us. We're actually, the company, or Reed Elsevier Philippines, has been in the country for 10 years now. I've just celebrated my 10th year with the company. Kat has been
Happy
with
anniversary.
The company. Yeah. Soon to be 11 years, actually. So looking, reflecting on that aspect, on how far we have come with, we've stayed with the organization. It's because we believe in the the company. We've been given opportunities. At the same time, it has extended to our families. So the employee value proposition that we're talking about is not just a mere messaging. This is something that we want our employees to feel. So for our internal audience, for our team members, as part of HR, we make sure that there's a positive experience in every touch point of their employee life cycle, of their journey with the company. So that translates to them being an ambassador without us actually forcing them to share, the content. Or I'll be honest, I think the employee referral program, there's an incentive, but it might not be as big financially compared to the other organizations. But it's still something very, very important to us, because our employees are referring their friends, their network, because they want to, be a link to the world, make their friends and family also experience the good things that they are experiencing with the company, because
it's free. It's free advertisement.
Aside from the fact that, they have authentic messages about, or authentic testimonials about Read Elsevier Philippines, they are also one with the messaging that says valuing what matters. So they are the living advocates of what we truly value, which is the employees, definitely.
Oh, yeah, I saw that slogan, valuing what matters, which does not actually tell me what you value, because I don't know what matters for you. But maybe this is a good transition for me to ask about this employer value proposition that was the foundation for your campaign. So what is it, for keeping in mind that if you're advertising on social media, you probably have like 2.5 seconds to grab someone's attention. So how do you do that with an EVP? Because you can't put your mission and value statements up there. That's going to be hard for them to absorb.
Yeah. So I think going back to our employee value proposition, I know valuing what matters it may mean differently to different individuals, but the bottom line there, the root word is actually value. So we value what matters to our stakeholders, to our customers, and to our employees. So how do we actually brand that through our external branding campaigns? We highlight on the audience, like you empathize and put yourself on their shoes. What's in it for me? So if I see this organization, if I see this ad, so what would make me actually click on the link and explore these things that they're saying about what we do? We always go back to the authentic messaging. We make use of employee testimonials. At the same time, we also go straight to the point. We're not very flowery on words. We don't do much in terms of what else, different marketing strategies that we know would be too complicated. We just want to make it very straightforward. I recalled also when you mentioned or introduced us from the last event, this company, they have a very straightforward hiring ad. We are hiring. So that's a very straightforward, clean slate, monthly hiring ad that we post, which I think was very much appreciated by our audience, because during the pandemic, as we all know, it hasn't been easy for everyone. But for our organization, we continued on giving opportunities to our fellow Filipinos. And one of our highest engagement actually was an ad back in 2020. I think during the enhanced community quarantine, we are all navigating through the challenges. And then it's a regular ad that we are doing. When we posted that we are hiring ad, we were surprised at how many inquiries we had. It only reflects that, of course, there are a lot of Filipinos, a lot of people who would like to get employment because of the hard, unprecedented times. It also reflects that we are valuing what matters to our business, because we continue the business. We also value what matters to our employees, because we have that job security. And we are very lucky to be part of that organization that, we continue to be strong despite the
growing.
So growing and expanding despite the pandemic. So I think that's, we're very, in terms of our approach on how we articulate our EVP, we are very straightforward. We always go back to what really matters to our audience, what would make them appreciate the ad. It's not just a very stoic and cold ad. We always go back to the heart. We touch the heart. our
Exactly.
audience.
Yeah, and just to add with what AJ mentioned earlier, that valuing what matters to our business and stakeholders, of course, we want to make sure that we make our business successful, because in the end, it will actually give us more opportunities to provide better opportunities to our employees. And of course, we always go back to our roots and the heart of the company, which is valuing our employees. And I believe that within the 4,500 employee population itself, everyone what valuing what matters meant, because not only that they know it through what they see in our communications, but they feel it as well in terms of how we provide their employee experience. And in return, they provide this authentic messaging and testimonial with Read Elsevier Philippines. Hence, the employee referral program numbers are steadily going up through the years.
Yep. And also to add to that again, Max, I'm sorry, for the employee value proposition, what's in it for me? So for our employees, we have different career development opportunities. Right now, we're also offering continuous improvement programs, Six Sigma, automation, analytics, and all that. Aside from that, as mentioned earlier, on how you can actually extend the good things that you're experiencing with the company, with your family, we have a very comprehensive HMO that
Yeah.
extends up to let's say 4 of your dependents or beneficiaries. It starts on day one. It's 100% subsidized by the company. So that's a big thing, especially now that we all under experienced the pandemic. Apart from that, we also highlight the culture, the very
Right.
positive work culture that we have. And
Yeah.
I think what you've been mentioning, Kat, even before, is that people out there, they won't know what's inside.
Yeah, unless we show it to them.
Yep.
So we always want to make sure that we get as much coverage as we do in social media organically, because our employees has a lot to say with their positive employee experience, backed it up with the posts that we have in social media, in our website. And then in return, they will be able to prove that Read Elsevier Philippines definitely serves as their employer of choice.
I think I'm starting to get it. And I'm going to try to summarize what I learned today from talking to you both. And you tell me if I'm on the right track. The advertisement itself has to be direct. It talks about jobs. It talks about benefits. It talks about what matters to putting food on the table and knowing exactly what you're applying for. It's direct and it's honest. And when it comes to things that are more subjective, like how do you embody those values and what life is like inside the company, you fully rely on turning your employees into ambassadors rather than try to control the message with, as you said, AJ, flowery language. But you let the honest people who are working at your company do the talking for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and it actually works.
Yes.
Like most of the time, whenever we post an ad in social media, our employees are the first ones to share it. Like most of the time, instead of our recruiters sharing it to various social media groups in Facebook, our employees get to share that, hey, we are hiring, we have all these benefits, come and join us. I have been with the company for 10 years, 7 years. So those are the actual messaging that an applicant is looking for. And that in turn is a great piece of marketing. Instead of us putting ourselves out there, which we also do, but if that has been backed up by the authentic messaging of our employees, then that in return makes a good use or a perfect brand ambassador, technically speaking.
Yeah, of course. But I'll let you speak, AJ, but I got a question on this. Like, it sounds too good to be true. If I'm an employer, of course, I want all my employees to go out and sing my praises and get me candidates, but they have their daytime job, they're busy. What can I do to make it easier for them to grab the mic and sing and talk it up? Is there any sort of tricks or incentives or programs you put in place to encourage this kind of behavior? Or it's just purely organic just because you got a good vibe going on?
Well, in terms of the organizational culture that we have here in the Philippines or in Read Elsevier Philippines, it's very tight-knit. So we operate as a family, technically speaking. We're proud to be here in Read Elsevier Philippines. That's why we always advertise it to our friends, to our family, and we want to make sure that they get hired as well so that they can also enjoy the benefits that I am currently enjoying. So like what AJ mentioned earlier, that our or the health insurance that we provide up to 4 dependents starting day one of their employment. And that's actually rare. Like most of the companies, they offer it sometimes after regularization. But for us, we offer it for free, not only to you, but to your family as well. And that's starting day one of your employment. And that in return goes to show that not we value you, but not only you, but your family as well.
Yeah.
That's interesting because you could have put that money into an advertising campaign or billboard, but I mean, maybe I don't know how much more it costs to actually have the 4 dependents covered by the insurance then, but there's probably a good cost benefit analysis where you would see, okay, I spent X amount of money, but now I've turned, half of my employees into ambassadors, and that lowers my cost per hire by X amount. So it'd be a difficult calculation to make, but it sounds like it's working for you guys.
Yep. And also, Max, I think, all of these, it's not an overnight success.
Yeah.
Well, for us, we are pretty much, not really a newly built team, but before, we are more into the traditional type of hiring or advertising. I think in the past 10 years, the organization has really evolved. But on that past 10 years that we are operating in the Philippines, as mentioned, it's not an overnight success. We have focused on building a positive work culture. We have
Absolutely.
an open door policy. There are regular surveys, employee opinion surveys, wherein we get the feedback of our people and then we respond to that. Also, we develop our leaders to be servant leaders.
Yeah.
We really invest in them because they're the frontliners that would build the team and continue to sustain a fun and engaging and professional work culture. So it's not overnight, something that we worked on for the past decade. And then I think what really sets us apart, or the differentiator that we want to highlight, is aside from the culture that we have built over the years, we also want to highlight how, if you're part of this organization, it's not just because you're getting something out of it, but you're giving an opportunity to give back to the organization. You also have a very strong corporate social responsibility program. So that's something that you can also, if you want to give back to the community. So there are a lot of other items that really, long-term programs, not just one-time, short-term programs that would build the ambassadors from within.
Exactly.
So yeah, it's really it's a joint effort from everyone and investing on our people and even on our leaders.
And just to add with how AJ mentioned about investing in our people, and you mentioning about, cost benefit analysis instead of, putting out a billboard out there and, focusing on the employees instead, is that we bank on our people. That's because if we bank on our people, they become more productive. They feel valued. And in return that, we will get this authentic messaging because of their, positive employee experience. And yes, it's not an overnight success. They won't, the marketing itself or the fruit of the marketing from our people has been with us since day one, but the reach is not as overwhelming as what we have right now. So but we continue to build and bank on our people in terms of their career development, their learning. We also bank on their health and safety. And that's because we know that they will become more productive, they will feel more valued, and at the same time, we will get this authentic messaging of their positive employee experience. So yeah, I mean, the purpose is not turning them into the brand ambassadors,
but absolutely.
But just to definitely, making sure that they are being treated right, that we make them feel valued. And then the byproduct of it is that they turn to our brand ambassadors.
Hashtag company goals.
Yeah.
That's one of our campaigns also.
All right, wonderful. Well, I think I could see how you do turn them into ambassadors with that mindset. And thank you for coming to share some of the secrets behind this campaign that was celebrated by your peers in the BPO industry. Congratulations for winning the award once again. And if people want to, sort of get familiar with Reed Elsevier Philippines and the company you've been in for over 10 years, AJ, where do you send them to? You send them to, where can they go and see some of this employee culture on display?
Yeah, we do. They can find us in Facebook. So it's Read Elsevier Philippines. They can also find us in LinkedIn. We also have an Instagram and a Twitter page and YouTube. So our YouTube is filled with our fun employee engagement activities that actually promotes employee resource groups, passion, and of course, work-life balance. And yeah, for our recruitment advertisements, yes, we also post it in Facebook, LinkedIn, and JobStreet.
And we
Okay.
also have our official website, of course, that's www.readelsevier.com.ph. And if anyone is interested for the career opportunities, we have the Manila Careers at readelsevier.com and another site, Iloilo Careers at readelsevier.com.
Yeah.
A real multi-channel strategy. I think I'll start with a YouTube channel.
Right.
Thank you, ladies. Pleasure to have you, and congrats again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Max.
Bye.